Welcome to Bite Me Podcast.
Yeah,
episode 31.
Do you want to run this damn show?
I run this damn show, Adam West.
Tell you what,
I am
the one,
Adam East,
I'm behind the computer.
host of the Bite Me Podcast.
I am pushing the buttons.
That was amazing.
I will get out of this car. No, that's not how it goes. I'll pull this car over.
If you don't run the show, we don't know how to do anything. So
you did it the one time.
It did not go well.
No,
the red light was on.
The red light was on. The red light's on probably right
Call
now,
back.
too. Anyway,
what
are we doing?
Welcome to episode 31 of the Bite Me Podcast. I am Adam West.
I'm Cliff Johnson.
Adam East.
God dang, dude. You're not Adam East.
My favorite part about it is there are people on like Facebook that have started referring to him that way.
Yeah.
And like, it's a joke.
My thunder,
it's
man.
a joke that's gone way too far.
Like in our Discord channel, you changed your name to Adam East, and I tried to change my name to Batman, and it says Batman for me, but nobody else evidently.
I think my favorite part is the picture that he used, though. It's like this horrifying picture that he's like, I don't know what you did to it.
It's like an infrared version of me.
Amazing.
It's like Purple Adam.
I love it.
Because I like Purple Adam.
Anyway, did we already introduce ourselves?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
You are still Adam.
But I'm actually Dylan. For those of you who don't know my alter ego.
Wait, so is Adam East like your superhero and Dylan's your...
I'm the real Adam East.
Oh, God, I'm so confused.
Can we talk about things that we're supposed to talk about now?
What are we going to talk about today?
Well, aside from the usual stuff, we've got news. Friday the 13th, they are working on making it gooder.
Or, yes.
What? Or?
It's more like a make good. Like, they screwed up and they're trying to fix that.
Yeah. I mean, so we'll talk more about that. I haven't experienced losing a Joy-Con, but evidently we don't have to worry about that now.
It's just a matter of time.
Game development is hard. Just a heads up, it's hard. So we'll talk about why you should keep that in mind when you're playing games.
Always.
People are pissed off. Take-Two banned a popular modding tool. I don't know much about the modding community, but evidently some people are pissed.
Yeah,
I'm excited to talk to Cliff about it because I think he's going to have knowledge.
Stuff.
And if he doesn't, then I'm going to be disappointed.
There is a new service out and about. It's called NVIDIA GeForce Now. It's a cloud gaming service that streams to your stuff, and we'll talk about how well that works. Is it good? Is it not? We know, but we'll save that for later. Usual questions. We got one from Vinny, Kevin, and Ricky. We'll talk about some cheap free games. And our troll corner this week is all about Sony. So there's that. But first we start with what we're playing.
What are you playing, Adam?
What? Oh. Look at that. Well, I am playing... I forgot. I'm also playing the PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, which I'm enjoying it. Again, last night, I didn't kill a single person and made it to top 20.
It's crazy how that works, though. Like, I've made it, like, I've never been that good at it, unfortunately, but I've made it, like, into the top 40 or 50 a bunch of times, and have only killed one person. It's crazy.
I've yet to kill a single person in this game.
I think the problem with that game is, like, someone comes up, and it's so rare for you to actually even, like, see another person. The other person, like, ah!
Yeah. I had my headphones on last night. Kevin started playing the Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood thing because he had some early access stuff for that. So he's playing that, getting ready to play. I got my headphones on, and I just jumped out of the plane in PlayerUnknown. As soon as I land, I'm like, yeah, I don't see anybody falling around me. Ran and grabbed a gun, walked out, pop, 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 right from behind me, and I screamed. It scared the bejesus out of me.
I was playing the other day, and I got stuck. Like, I was trying to, like, be all sneaky, and I was, like, kneeling down on the roof of a building, like, between a railing and, like, I don't know, some big water tank or something. I'm like, this is a perfect place to hide. And then I got up, and I couldn't move. Like, I was stuck there. And I hear a person, like, open a door downstairs and wander around, because you can really hear footsteps. And I hear him come up the stairs. I'm like, I got this. I've got this. Like, he pops over the door, and I'm like, bam to the left of his head, bam to the right of his head, bam over the top of his head, and then he just opens up a machine gun on me. I'm like, that did not go how I'd planned.
So do you have a hard time finding, like, ammo and guns and stuff? Like, I find the stuff, but I'll find a gun, but I won't find ammo for it the entire time I'm playing.
Usually the ammo's next to the gun.
Yeah, usually, but I've not been able to find it.
I think, like, I've watched other people stream it, and I think I'm not taking enough time to, like, I'll land in a thing of 5 houses, and instead of going through all 5 of them, I'm like, oh, I found a gun, I need to get somewhere else, and just not, like, I think I'm taking it a little too fast. So I think, like, slowing down and, like, going through a bunch of houses and going through all the levels of the houses, opening all the doors is kind of the way you handle that kind of ammo gun situation.
Yeah. I've tried watching some Twitch streams to kind of get some ideas on how other people play, and I found some. And then there's a video that I'm going to link. I need to find it and link everybody to that kind of is like, here's 17 or 20 tips on
that's cool.
PlayerUnknown's. And some of the stuff is just extremely helpful.
Nice. Yeah, I'm going to try and start doing that in our show notes more, actually like linking out some of the stuff we're talking about too. So I'm playing that, and then I'm also playing The Witcher 3, which is great. I accidentally wandered into an expansion pack quest, and it was like, just so you know, or thanks for purchasing blood and whatever and wine.
something or other. You should be level 30 if you're going to go here. And I'm all, whatever. I just kind of wandered in, promptly died like 100 times.
He got dead.
Yeah.
The game's amazing. I've been playing it too.
Like, I don't have any potions or whatever to heal me, because
you should get some of them.
I should, but I didn't realize that I could just meditate.
Yeah.
So if I'm really low on health after, like, halfway through a quest, after I clear out that area, I can just meditate. And
I did the exact same thing, because I played a bunch of it and then kind of forgot about didn't forget about it, but I just hadn't played for a while. I got back and I'm like, this is hard. I'm all dead. What do I do? And same thing. I forgot that you can meditate. So.
Yeah. So, but it's a lot of fun. The story's really cool, all the stories that are going on. And I like the way that they... like the bulletin boards, the community bulletin boards in each little town or whatever, where it's like, okay, I need some stuff to do to gain some XP and
it
money.
Makes so much more sense than like help me, I need some help. Like,
right?
Is that how people work?
Evidently, in The Witcher 3 universe,
right? I've never just been out and about. Have you actually gotten a quest that way before, Dylan, in real life?
Yes. Can I tell this story real quick?
Yeah, it's like augmented reality.
So I remodeled houses for a while, and we were setting this tile floor up in
a house
up north of Seattle, and it was a pretty cold day, kind of windy, and there's a lot of construction going on in this like condo complex, and I heard this awful screaming. And I'm in a house and it was like, okay, this is not good. This isn't good. And the guy I was working with was like, do you hear that? And it took us a minute, and then so we walked outside, and it was intermittent, like another scream. And we're like, what is this? So we like followed the scream down the hill, around the corner to a lake, and this old lady was paddleboarding by herself in a lake in winter in Seattle, and she had fallen off and could not move.
Oh my gosh.
We saved her life.
Wow. Dylan's a real life
wow.
hero.
Mucho XP.
I was going to say, I would give you 100 XP and 4 gold coins and this strange plant herb I had in my pocket.
And a sword that doesn't break.
Yeah.
Yeah, she eventually kind of like floated over to shore, and we pulled her.
That's crazy.
And then like we used our phones to call her husband, and he came and picked her up, and it was fine, but she couldn't do anything. It was too cold.
That's nuts.
So the moral of the story is, don't paddleboard in a lake in the middle of winter in northern Washington.
By yourself.
Yeah.
By yourself.
Real dumb.
Unless you've got really good balance.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's real life questing.
Well,
Dylan, real life hero.
Good boy. I will call you Link. So that's what I'm playing. Witcher 3 and some PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds.
I like it.
And I want to go back. I almost started going back in through Ori last night as well.
Everybody's talking about it too.
I know.
It was on sale in the Microsoft Store, I think, like a couple days ago.
$9 or something ridiculous.
A ton of people I know are playing it too. It's so fun.
Got to get ready for the new one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which unfortunately doesn't come out until next year.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah, no. It's all right.
Who wants to go next?
Dylan, go ahead, man. Because I'm actually really interested in what Dylan's playing.
Yeah.
You should save it for last then.
All right, I'll go next. I have been playing a bunch of things. I've also been playing The Witcher 3, and it's super fun, and it's so pretty, and I like hitting things with swords.
And Witcher 3, I've got whoever did, or whatever team or person handled the soundtrack and all the sound design in that game,
great, right?
It is amazing. The thunder, the wind, the
weather effects are amazing.
Yeah, and the music is great. It's never like over the top, like bad or anything. It's always perfectly set to whatever you're doing.
CD Projekt Red just does good work.
It's good stuff.
In case you're wondering too, like there is actually The Witcher is actually based off a series of books that you can go read. So
what?
Yeah. Interestingly enough, the guy who they're very separate from one another though. Like a guy wrote a bunch of books, and then they're like, "Hey, can we license this to make a video game?" He's like, "Yes," and now he's real pissed about it because the Witcher game's way bigger than the books ever have been. So
and
he didn't get his payday.
And he didn't like. I don't think it's like a like he just licensed it. I don't think it's like he didn't like get anything on sales or anything. And he actually
Well,
thinks
he shouldn't be mad
Right.
about that.
he also thinks that like people now will just play the game instead of reading his books. He's really old and crotchety. It's great.
Poo-poo on him.
Anyways, I hear the books are real good.
I heard
so.
his wife fell in a lake while she was paddleboarding.
I heard that too. So Witcher 3 is awesome. I also played Rocket League a couple times. We played it actually with some folks in our Discord channel. So it was really fun. Kevin and Ryan came in, and we played some Rocket League. And we just played it versus bots because we were all on different platforms. Like I was playing on a PC, and I think they were on PlayStation. And like my kid was playing on the Xbox. My brother was playing on an Xbox. And so we just like loaded up a private server and played against bots for probably an hour.
Nice.
It was really fun and super like non-competitive, so it was just like, hey, let's screw around and play Rocket League. So that was super fun. We're going to do that again. I played a game. I actually reviewed a game called Rocket Wars, and it's a like 4-player space combat game. So you actually like are in this kind of big circle, and there's a sun in the middle of it, and you literally just are spaceships flying around trying to kill each other. I posted a video of it. It was
I watched
really-
that video.
Yeah, it's like just kind of silly, fun, couch co-op-y. Like I think the game's $7 or $8. So like if you have some buddies over and just want to play something dumb, you get like super cool power-ups and rockets and lasers. And there's a nuke one where if you get the nuke power-up, like the rest of the team has like 5 or 8 seconds to kill you, and if they don't kill you in time, then it blows up and kills everyone. There's a couple of different game modes. There's like a deathmatch mode. There's a nuke mode where you actually everyone like a player gets the nuke and you have to kill him, and then someone else gets the nuke and you have to kill them, and whoever has it at the end gets 4 deaths. But they're super powerful while they have it, so it's scored by who kills the most. Like it's the most kills in that mode, but like you have this kind of interesting nuke mechanic too. So real fun for cheap. Definitely enjoyed that. I also played a game called Party Panic, which so it was Father's Day over the weekend, and my kid got me a Steam gift card and said, like, that's the game you have to get, though.
That's awesome.
It was actually on my wish list. Like, I went to buy it, I'm like, oh, that's on my wish list. I don't remember adding it, but
Nice.
It was a misclick, but
no, I don't think it was. I think I actually did it on purpose. But it's really fun. It's a up to 4-player mini game collection where you just run around. Like, did either of you guys ever play Fusion Frenzy on the
Yeah.
Xbox? It's a
Sure did
ton
not.
like Fusion Frenzy.
the game is cool.
Just like super high, fast paced. You get in, there's a 30, 45, maybe 60-second mini game, and then you go into the next one. And then there's, another mini game, and I think there's 15 mini games in it total. It would be a fantastic, like, you and your bros couch co-op. But I think this actually has online play, too.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, it's just kind of fun and goofy and stupid, and it's exactly what you'd think it was, like knocking people off things and, hitting people and trying to collect things and put them in places.
Makes
and,
me want to have more friends.
Right? Yeah,
Oh.
that's exactly right. So,
These characters in the game are really strange looking.
and they are. They're really dorky, kind of squishy guy. It's really fun.
They have a lot of teeth.
Yeah, a lot of it's just weird, but yeah, no. Party Panic was a good time, and it was like honestly probably a little expensive for what it was. Like I think it was $17 or $18, and it's still in early access. But like my kid got it for me for Father's Day. Couldn't complain. It's super super enjoyable. We had a great time playing it. We played it for probably an hour and a half. So
Nice.
did that. I fell asleep playing Horizon Zero Dawn, not because it's boring, but because I was tired. My wife came downstairs. She like tapped me, and I like freaked out and woke up. I had headphones on, like was still just listening to the music. Like had the controller in my hands, but was dead asleep snoring. So,
Nice.
That's amazing.
did that. It was good.
All right.
Anyway, Mr. Dillon, tell us about your stuff.
Well, I only really played one game this week, but I was really excited about it because it's Nintendo's newest fresh idea, and that is ARMS.
Yeah.
And it was great.
Do you like it?
How was Noodle Boy?
Noodle Boy was awesome.
Is that why you have your Switch with you?
I have it right here.
Oh.
I haven't got to play it yet, but this is exactly the game that I was hoping it would be. I think
That
And-
statement doesn't make any sense at all. He has not played it, but he thinks it's
No, I
gonna be
haven't
great.
played it a lot yet.
Oh, okay.
But
okay.
my first impression is it is exactly what I was hoping it would be. Now, if you're really not into fighting games, yeah, you're probably still not gonna dig this. 'Cause
Is it
there's
pretty? Is it very? Is it a fighting game?
It is a
played?
fighting game, and
Yeah.
I think this could very well be an esports title.
Really?
It has enough variety. It seems like it's very balanced. I'm sure we're going to find out if there's a few characters that are better than
Sure.
other ones because they all have their unique passive abilities. Whether that's like Mr. Master Mummy Master something. The big mummy guy.
Okay.
His throws do more damage, and when he's blocking, he's regenerating health. And like Ribbon Girl can jump 4 times, so she like quadruple jumps or whatever. And so that each character has their different passive abilities. Their dashes are a little different. They do different things, but they're mostly balanced much differently than a game like Super Smash Bros.
Interesting.
So, and I think it takes away some of the challenges for the casual player and fighting games, which is how fast they are, and how, I mean, everything is so tight. And as funny as it is, the long-range punches that are very visible, so you can see them. It's very visible to see and block or dodge. So it slowly slows the game down, but it still remains fast-paced, where you're constantly moving around, you're jumping, you're dodging, and you're moving around in 3-dimensional space. So it's obviously not a 2D fighter. It is a 3D space.
Sure.
And there's a little variety in the maps where there's obstacles in the way, or there's these moving platforms that if you're on them, they're moving around, and you kind of like zoom around instead of just walking.
Interesting.
And all kinds of different gloves that do different things. And you charge up and you can unleash these like rapid fire attacks. And so I think there's a lot of depth to this game, and with the support of new characters already in the works.
Yeah.
'Cause there isn't a whole lot of.
There's 5 or 6?
There's 10, I think.
Oh,
8 or 10.
That's actually more than I
characters.
thought there was.
Yeah,
That's
start
cool.
with 10.
I think it's 10, yeah.
If they could double that over the next year.
And I play like the volleyball and the basketball modes, which it's a fun distraction, but the game is the fighting, and that's where the game works the best. I'd be curious to try the team fights and stuff like that. Obviously, don't have friends to play those with yet, but I think this is a very exciting new title for Nintendo.
Cool.
Can you play it multiplayer on a single Switch, or is it you have to have? Nice.
You can do
play
split screen, right?
Yeah, you can do split screen.
We should boot it up and give it a try. That
I
sounds
think
fun.
it's definitely worth trying out.
Very nice.
So highly recommend ARMS if you're at all interested in a fighting game, because you might like it if you're not, but if you're into fighting games, you might really enjoy it.
That's cool.
So have you played with the motion controls at all, or what?
I did a little bit, and I wish I would have done it first, because I first played the game handheld.
Oh.
So immediately I was figuring the controls out just with the traditional controller, and apparently the motion controls are pretty good. And
yeah, I heard the motion controls are all right.
I think I'm gonna give that a try again.
Interesting.
Because you just kind of, by moving them, and tilting your hands, and you kind of hold them, kind of sideways, so not like front on. It's a different way to hold the controller than you would for some of the other games.
Okay.
But you just tilt them, and then you're able to move side to side, and you don't really have to do punches. Like you're not going to be like Wii boxing. You're just going to be kind of flicking the wrist, or I think you'll be able to use a button too. So I think there's a lot of variety in the control schemes. Whether you're using the Pro controller, you're using a single Joy-Con, which I don't think is recommended for this game. But
probably
you
not.
can.
That would probably hurt your hands a lot.
But motion controls and all that, so I think it's gonna be interesting. I'm really curious to see who like the competitive players, how they play, if they play with the motion controls.
Right.
I think they might have a little bit. I watched a little bit of the E3 ARMS Open Invitational, which I think they should have called it the Open Arms Invitational.
Oh, jeez.
I think that's a missed opportunity, but it looked pretty cool, and it was really competitive, and they were obviously I don't know how much time they really got to play these games and this game beforehand, but like it was pretty cool, like to have a tournament for this brand new game, and it looked exciting. So
I think it'd be funny if it takes off as a competitive esport. Instead of seeing the typical, banks of people sitting at their computers on a stage, clicking and pointing and doing stuff, whatever, you've just got like groups of people on stage flailing about for an esport. So it's almost like a legit, actual physical sport.
You're getting some cardio in there.
Have you ever seen, it's not quite like that, but have you ever seen people play Vainglory, the MOBA, as an esport.
No.
It's tablet only, so it only exists on the tablet. So instead of people sitting in front of a computer, it's literally a bunch of people like hunched over with a tablet on their lap, just going tappity tappity tappity.
Oh,
tappity,
gosh,
it's the most ridiculous looking thing I've ever seen.
That's
But
super
apparently,
funny.
it's super competitive and really fun to play. Like MOBAs aren't my jam, but yeah, like watching people play Vainglory is absolutely hilarious.
Absolutely silly.
Nice. Well, cool. Well, that's what we've been playing. So, yeah, I hope you are enjoying what you're playing. Up next.
Oddly enough, this is people's favorite part of the
I
entire
know.
thing. I've had more than one people tell me. So, Dylan?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
News! News! We have news on the newscast.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, we don't need to elaborate.
I probably
news.
should not have told him that
Oh, no,
people
yeah.
enjoyed it. That was
did you not
dumb.
see that? Wasn't it in the Discord?
Yeah, a couple, but like more than one person has commented on it. They really like Dylan's stupid transitions.
I'm into
they
it.
may not have said it that way.
I'm glad that Adam never got around to making them.
Yeah, we talked about that, too.
Like we were going to produce some real bumpers, but apparently
That's good
I'm
enough.
cheaper.
It was a lot
Free
less
labor,
work.
indentured servitude.
Adam has to edit less. It's all
Uh-huh.
good. Everybody
It's
wins.
fine. I kind of like doing it. Adam won't put me on the radio, so
You've been on the radio before.
Yeah.
Once.
He talked about how much you like
More.
System of a Down.
Eventually.
I crave more.
Eventually.
I crave
So people didn't necessarily get what they craved. See how I did that?
Ooh,
When they
good
dropped
transition.
the new Friday the 13th game, because there were a lot of buggy issues, a lot of things, a lot of stuff. People still really liked it.
Yeah.
Vinny
it's-
really loves it.
Yeah, Vinny loves it. A lot of people love it. It's gotten decent reviews. It seems to be one of those things that people either really, really like or really don't. But I mean,
And I also think it's a lot of people are really hoping
that it gets
that
better.
this
It has a
they
cult
pull this off.
following.
Oh, you're hilarious.
Yeah, I
Horror
think-
movies tend to do.
I think that what they're doing now, though, is they released a patch over the weekend, which is great. Like, things appear to be... Like, if this is a game that interests you, things are running now.
Yeah.
So, like,
Now it
now's a
works.
great time to get into it.
So, and just so you know, we're talking about the Friday the 13th game that came out, about a month
2
ago?
weeks ago? 3 weeks ago?
Is
yeah.
it that close?
Maybe.
Okay. And it's the 5v1 or 7v1 or something.
Yeah.
Somebody plays Jason.
versus a bunch of camp counselors.
Yeah. So it's a Friday the 13th movie.
Yeah, one of the things the developers really wanted to do was just kind of like, hey, we know we screwed up. We tried really hard and we didn't meet people's expectations. So what you're going to get is a free content update. It's going to come out actually today, which is June 20th. So on Tuesday, and it adds a new retro model for Jason, a couple new costumes for each counselor, and everyone's going to get 13,000 customization points, which I assume you use to customize yourself. But there's also a double XP weekend coming up this weekend, starting on July 23rd. So you'll be able to get in. You know, if you haven't played yet, this is probably a good opportunity to get in. You know, get a bunch of XP, level up that character, and get, you know, kind of up with a lot of other people that have been playing the game for 2 or 3 weeks. So, you know, I think it's really nice when a developer like comes out and says like, "Hey, we screwed up, and you know, we want to make this as good as possible. Let us make this up to you as best as we can, and then you know, come back and play some more." It'll be interesting to see kind of how play counts go after this update and after this weekend, because you've been kind of seeing a little drop off on people playing this game, even as people buy it. It's a really strange graph. Like the purchases are going up, but the actual play time is going down. So it'll be nice if this kind of bumps that play time back up too.
Yeah, because it's one of
people
those.
online.
I'd like to see it. You know, because PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds just came out, you know, a few months ago, and it's just killing it.
Yep.
And it's really good, and it's only in early access. So obviously that's going to be the winner of this kind of like face-off. But it would be nice if this one kind of stuck around, at least had some legs for a couple of years.
Well, and I like the idea of like 5v1 or 7v1 games. Like I think they're really fun, and it just like a couple people tried it and it just didn't work. And so it's like a genre I'd like to see someone really be successful at. And I mean, even if it's something like this where it's niche, you know, they've sold I think like 200,000 copies of this game.
Was that all?
Yeah, but that's not bad. You know, if that's enough to keep a player base of 5,000 or 6,000 people online for a year, like that's great. And this may not be a game that you're playing in 2019, but so you play it throughout 2017. It costs you $30, and that's not a bad deal.
True.
It's 2 movies.
Yeah,
So
and what? Go. Yeah, talk.
What?
Yes.
No, God.
You were gonna say.
Did you have
I'm
something
gonna
to add
slap
to
you.
this?
No, maybe.
Can we transition now?
Oh, not yet.
Then continue. I thought we were transitioning.
I was gonna say, even for a full list of stuff. If you haven't bought this, if you're wondering, well, maybe I should buy it or whatever, we're going to post that so you can take a look at all the fixes if you haven't looked at it yourself.
Definitely.
Yes, Dylan?
So if you bought Friday the
Now, see, you screwed it up. You screwed it up. It's okay. It's okay.
Do you want to try again?
I can't work with these people.
Start your own podcast.
So,
Take two.
if you bought Friday the 13th, all is not lost. But if you've lost your Joy-Con, we have a solution for you.
Oh, God. Anyway,
We don't have a solution. Nintendo does, though.
Yeah, thank goodness for them.
Right.
So I have never lost a Joy-Con, but I do have a 10-year-old. Well, he's 9. He'll be 10 soon. And it strikes me as something that he could very easily lose. They're small enough that you could get him lost in couch cushions. They're small enough that they could fall under things. Like, it's something that could happen. How often do you lose your phone? I lose mine constantly.
Oh, no.
Really?
Never.
Nope. I do not lose my phone. Last time I lost my phone, I left it in a cab at the Miami airport before a 6.5-hour direct flight from Miami to Seattle. So I had no music or nothing.
Did you ever get that back?
No.
Ooh.
No, are you kidding me?
That sucks.
There's a cab in Miami.
That's a good point. Yeah, I don't ever lose. I've never lost mine like that, but I leave it in places in the house and then can't find it.
I lose my keys.
Yeah, same
all
thing.
the time.
Yeah, whatever. Small things that whatever. So I can see how this can happen. But Nintendo actually just released an update where if you can't find your Joy-Con, you can actually go into
The controller menu.
into the controller menu and make it vibrate. And apparently, like the longer you make it do it, like the more violently it'll vibrate. So it's not like my phone, like it's like buzz, buzz. Apparently, this is like at the end, it's like going to be skittering across your floor. It's vibrating so hard.
I mean, played like I'm thinking of just like when we were playing 1-2 Switch or whatever. Some of those games, how much you actually got out of those little things.
The
I'm
Joy-Cons are really
imagining.
actually impressive little controllers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're awesome. There's all kinds of stuff going on in there. But I think it's funny that of all the things that came with this update, that's the one that everybody's like, oh, if you lose your Joy-Con.
Yeah. There was actually one of the other things actually really as a parent that I found very, very cool about this is one of the parts of this update actually was the ability to lower the maximum volume for the system. So if you're and it'll be automatically done if parental controls are enabled. So like my kid, I give him a pair of headphones, he'll just like crank it up until I'm like, hey, what are you doing? He's like, huh? And I'm like, you took the headphones off, dude. I'm yelling like it's time for dinner and like nothing coming. So like that's a cool thing to be able to do if you've got young kids because otherwise they'll just do stupid things to their ears like that.
And one thing I'm not noticing in this is like, because you had talked about, it was one of you were talking about uploading screenshots.
Oh, it's terrible.
So they didn't change anything about that. And it's not necessarily a broken kind of system. It's not friendly.
I just love, like, I have an Xbox. I take a screenshot and it uploads to my profile on Xbox.com. Like, it's so simple and easy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe when they're new, I guess, they don't really have an online system yet. Maybe next year when that gets launched, maybe that'll be something.
We'll hold out for that one before we criticize them too hard.
Oh, no, I've already criticized them once. I'll probably do it again, too.
We'll criticize them weekly until then.
There we go. Good enough.
But what if your Joy-Con's dead?
Ooh.
Then it's lost forever. You'll just
forever.
never find it.
Right.
You have too much accountability on this feature. Don't lose your Joy-Con.
One day I'll be moving. I'm like, oh, that's where it was.
Yeah. So there's that. If you have a Switch, you've got a new update coming, and it'll happen automatically. I don't think you have to do anything.
I don't think so either.
Nintendo's kind of just pushed that update. They just goes.
Yeah.
So no warning.
I like
it just
that.
happens.
It's there.
Yeah.
I would like that for my systems, but on the flip side, like I kind of like watching Sony brick my PlayStation in real time. So,
Up next, game development is hard.
like maybe y'all didn't know this.
Don't forget it. It's a difficult thing.
Anytime you're playing a game and you're like, oh my God, why couldn't devs do this? They must just be lazy. Like the answer is not that they're lazy. It's that it's really, really difficult.
That they probably tried.
They tried really
Why
hard.
do these weapons break? I don't understand. It's because
that was just
They were
bad design.
poorly designed weapons.
But
but
so I was reading Twitter yesterday, and this actually got kind of pulled off in a couple of different places too. Like a couple of news sites picked this up about one of the developers for Scribblenauts. Now, have you guys ever played Scribblenauts?
yes, and it's amazing.
It's absolutely amazing. And when you played it, you're like,
incredible.
how did they do this? And so, like, if you don't, Adam hasn't played it. So,
Never played
like,
it.
the concept is this: you go to a scenario, and you have to complete something in that scenario. Be it, get from
Get
one side to the
this
other,
or
or collect this something, or make this something happen. And so,
or even solving riddles.
yeah,
kind
solving
of.
riddles, like just puzzles. And you do that by, if you're playing Scribblenauts, by essentially just entering nouns into it. So literally you're like, well, I need to kill those zombies to get to the thing. And so you can literally spawn your character like a chainsaw, and he'll chainsaw through a bunch of zombies.
Literally anything any word you put
A
in
tank.
that is a thing.
Yeah, it's crazy the amount of nouns that they have, and it's crazy how often it will actually work. But then they came out with a game called Scribblenauts Unlimited, and it gave you the ability to apply a noun and an adjective.
So metal T-Rex,
or a purple tank, and it was crazy. Like everything you did would generate a thing, and there's also a couple of other there's like a superhero one. There's a couple of one-offs, and so everyone had always kind of thought that this game had to be procedurally generated. Like, you type in purple tank and it just generates a purple tank magically, right? So one of the developers for it was talking, and she was saying what they call it math washing, and it says it's the myth that a service like a game like that is created by algorithm when it's actually crafted by hand. And she's saying no, literally this game was mostly built by hand. Like we had to say okay, let's just get a huge list of nouns, and then we're gonna have to make all of those. And then when they said and hey, we're adding adjectives in the second one, she's literally my response was I'm quitting. There's no way you can do that. And so ultimately, she's there's thousands of nouns, there's thousands of adjectives. I literally got a dictionary and just pulled out all the adjectives and then went through them and categorized them. We got it down to a manageable number, but that's still 5,000. So when what we're saying here, when we say that development is hard, okay? So she says if you had 5,000 nouns and 5,000 adjectives, and and I think every noun could have a certain number of adjectives applied to it, down to 5. There's all these constraints of the system, but it's hard. You end up with 4.9 trillion different combinations. And they're if I started testing that,
if you tested 100 combinations per second,
it would take
every second, every day, it would take 4.9 trillion years
to test that. She's that's why games have bugs. So it's really interesting to hear about this. But I mean, anytime you play a game and you're oh, why is that broken? Just think about how hard it is to do what these developers are doing. It seems easy, and you hear about, they're using the Unity engine, so the Unity engine does everything, right? No. We were reading about Mass Effect the other day. I read this big thing on Mass Effect, and Mass Effect uses the Frostbite engine, I want to say. And they're great. The Frostbite engine's great for doing war games. It's the thing that powers, I want to say, Battlefield.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And EA was hey, if you're going to build a giant, game, we're going to use Frostbite because it looks great. Here it is. And they're well, there's nothing in here for inventory management or experience gathering or, any of the things we need to make effectively a role-playing game. They're you'll figure it out.
Wow.
There's nothing in here for facial animations. Well, that's okay. You'll figure it out. And obviously that did not happen.
Right.
But it's hard. Anytime you think about, you look at Friday the 13th and you go why couldn't these guys figure this out? It's because it's hard.
Wow.
Anyway, that's our pro-developer statement for the day.
Yeah, so keep that in mind. Don't come down on those developers.
That's why I wasn't willing to give such a bad score to a game that had a game-breaking bug.
Ooh.
That's exactly what I was trying to explain.
He's still wrong.
If there just happens to be a bug that breaks your game, it's not necessarily a bad game.
I said development is hard. I didn't say anyone's excuse.
Excuse, no.
Slap.
But I don't think it's fair to just...
Life's not fair, Dylan. Get a helmet.
If you find a bug, the rest of your experience was great.
That's true. But it wasn't, because
until
he never
it
got past
ruined
that bug.
everything you had done.
20
up
hours
to
of his
that
life,
point.
twice. It's a
Nope.
full work week.
Nope.
That's insane.
Anyway.
Well, anyway, so I guess this kind of goes in with the whole development is hard.
Yeah.
See, and I'm not part of the modding community. I've never used a mod or anything. I don't even know.
Yeah, I do a little bit. And this is actually an interesting mod. So this is a mod for Grand Theft Auto that lets you do all sorts of things. And some of the and people use it in all sorts of ways. And so it's called the it is called
the
Open 4 mod. And, people used it for making movies in it. They used it for doing, a lot of the silly things you see in YouTube videos where they're hey, we're going to spawn 50 trucks and we're going to drop those trucks into a pool and then we're going to drive a train through them and see what happens. People did that. And, I mean, this is a mod that's been in development for years and years and years and years and years. And Take-Two Interactive, the company that publishes Grand Theft Auto, all of a sudden last week just said, like, nope, we're not going to allow this anymore, even though they'd had a history of allowing mods as long as they only touch single player. And they made an announcement and said, nope, this mod is causing problems in multiplayer. And so it's gone now. And so literally these developers have been putting in hundreds or probably thousands of hours of their time to make this mod that had been perfectly fine to use for years and years and years. And all of a sudden, just with one cease and desist, that entire thing goes away and it's no longer available. And the interesting part about that is, I mean, Grand Theft Auto is a game that literally was the third best-selling game of last month. Like, that's insane. People buy this all the time, and it currently on Steam has an overwhelmingly negative review score in recent reviews because people are pissed off about this.
And that's the reviews for Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto, because
passive aggressively reviewing
the
game.
I hate that.
Yeah, and I mean it sucks, but at the same time, like, Take-Two made a decision to take out something that literally, I mean, this is 41,000 reviews. So I mean, people are mad about this, and that's not a small amount of people that are pissed that this is no longer something they can use. It's a big part of the modding community. It's a big part of the YouTube community. It's a big part of I don't remember, do you know how you say that? Machinima, that
Machinima.
Community. So people are mad, and literally the developers came back and they're like, no, our stuff doesn't touch Grand Theft Auto Online at all. We have no idea what they're talking about. And when they reached out to Take-Two, they're like, nope, we have no comment. So no one knows really quite what the story behind this is, but man, people are mad to destroy. I mean, that means that overall they have 42,000 negative reviews recently.
Wow.
And overall that's dropped their total review score of 231,000 reviews down to mixed on Steam. Like, that's crazy to have that kind of influence. So,
do you honestly think that that's going to hurt their...
Oh, hell no.
Because it's Grand Theft Auto 5
the
in
game
particular.
will probably be number 3 next month. And next
everybody
month
knows
and
it at
next
its
month.
core. It is a fantastic game, and it doesn't require mods to be good.
It's just a shame. Like, you're seeing that a lot nowadays, though, where... And I mean, I understand it, too.
It's like Yelp backlash on a restaurant.
Yeah, that. And I mean, developers have to protect their intellectual property. They have to protect their trademarks. So you hear about these people all the time, like, we've spent 10 years making a Pokemon game, and it's going to be great. And I'm sure it was, but you can't do that.
You can't do that.
Right.
That's why I'm sad for these people spending so much time doing something and then it's taken away. But I'm like, why did you even start doing that?
Well, I mean, like, it's different though too when a company has a history of being mod friendly, to like make that switch. Like, you make a Pokemon game, like, Nintendo's going to come down on you. Like, that's day one. That's going to happen. But and a lot of developers are very friendly to the mod community. I mean, there's modders right now that are redoing all of Morrowind in the Skyrim engine. I think there's also people redoing what was the one after Morrowind? Oblivion in the Skyrim engine. There are some developers that made an entirely new game in the Skyrim engine. It's all mods. So, it's just unfortunate that the community's not mature enough, and by mature enough I don't mean like they're a bunch of little immature people, but like there's nothing within the community that Take-Two could say, like, hey, here's the rules, and if it meets these rules, we'll allow you to do it. And if we say, hey, you can't do it anymore, here's the way you can resolve that. It's just yes or no, and it's solved by cease and desist.
There's no process.
Yeah,
and that's the problem.
I think that the good thing that's going to come out of this, I think we're going to see it soon, and we actually had it kind of on our notes to talk about last week, and we didn't bring it up, is that Bethesda at E3 launched a thing called the Creation Club, and it's mods that people make that are going to be an official part of the Skyrim and Fallout 4 system that you will actually pay for. So, do
you think that maybe this is like a preemptive kind of like strike from these developers to implementing their own
maybe
like
it could be, but I mean,
you'd
think that they would want to pull that into it. You'd think it's in their best interest. I'm sure the way the Bethesda one will work is you submit to it, and either, maybe there's a fee to submit, maybe not. But then, for every $1 you make, they take 30% of it.
Right.
But, it's really best for everyone. Like, then the developers have a hand in saying yes or no to things. No, you can't make these weird, strange mods that are, a horrible perversion of what we actually wanted a game to be. But it also gives the developers a way to actually make some money, which is fantastic.
I'm really into that.
Yeah.
Because I think I've never partaken in any modding of anything because I was never a PC gamer, so that just wasn't really an option.
Although on the consoles now you can.
Yeah, and there's always been those. There's been some sort of workarounds through the years, but I forgot where I was. Where was I going with that?
But it's just a weird community. It's
I remember now.
No, you got it.
I like the idea of this, especially for games like Morrowind, that this game would look great if it was freshened up, but you can't just wait for the developer to go do that, right?
Yeah,
and
so they may or they may not. They may
there's a
never
community
go back.
out there that could do that, why not? But I definitely think they need to be compensated for it on both sides. The people who made the game and the people who did work. So
they deserve some compensation for their IP, and the creators deserve some work for all the work they put into it. So
I've never really known how this modding thing.
So wait, so do you think? I mean, if a group of people decide to take on modding a game that's 10 years old because the developer's like, no, we made our money, we're done with that game, that's not going to happen, but it's out there. Do you think that the people who do those mods or whatever to kind of clean it up, freshen it up, whatever, if they put it out there, do you think they should get paid because they decided, hey, I'm going to do this?
Well, I think that it would be interesting to live in a world where, because currently, no, they don't.
Right.
It would be very interesting to live in a world where that was a possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, if there's a way for them to do that, sure.
Yeah.
If you want to try and, pimp your stuff online for these mods or whatever and make some money off of it, by all means, go ahead and try. But do I think that you should get money for doing your hobby, basically?
I think the thing, a lot of these are, making something look prettier, maybe not, but a lot of them are like huge quality of life updates too, where a developer literally will stop fixing bugs for a game and they will go back in and fix bugs or clean up copy that was bad. Or, a lot of them are, we legitimately make this game better, or we make this game playable on current systems, or we make this game something you'd want to play on a current system because it was so ugly before. So, I think that...
But because it's a copyrighted trademark kind of thing, they can't legally make money off of it unless they go through...
Yep.
I get it.
Yeah, I think that it's... I think figuring out... And, they tried this on Steam, and it backfired horribly, too. So... But I think that figuring out a way to make this happen is a really cool thing. And I think also what you're going to see is, and this has happened in the past, where someone will make a really cool mod and then they'll get hired by Valve. I think,
right.
And so if you eliminate the, hey, I'd love to do that, but man, I just don't have, 800 hours to spend on something that's never going to give me any kind of money or recognition. I think you're going to see a lot of people that are actually going to do this as a business, and as a way to actually get paid. Maybe I don't have the chops yet to make a video game myself, but I totally have what it takes to, do a bunch of new textures or fix some bugs or fix some text or translate a game into a language it wasn't in before, and get them paid and help them take that step into the industry too.
Yeah. And I think that's great. If Cliff can go mod this game and submit it to game company X and they say, hey, that's great, we will put it on our marketplace,
and
they will take a cut of it,
right.
and they will make money.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I do too.
But Cliff expecting that he's just going to get paid because he spends all his time modding.
No, that's
he shouldn't expect nothing.
No.
He's doing this work hoping that what he did is great, and if he believes and thinks that what he's doing is great, then he will get compensated.
Yes,
and I think
there should be no expectation.
I think the success of a creators club, though, is that they give you a clear set of guidelines as to what I guess the thing is like you could say the same thing about the App Store. Like you don't go in and make an app going like, man, I sure hope that they'll let that I will get paid to do this, or they'll allow me to put it on their store. They have guidelines saying this is what we allow, this is what we don't allow, and as long as you meet those guidelines, you can put it on the store. Whether you get paid or not depends on how good your mod is.
Right.
So I would love to see like essentially like an iTunes App Store, and specifically.
For mods.
Say again.
For mods?
For mods, yeah.
That's great, especially because it's curated content at that point. Because you don't want trash. You don't want just like these trash mods.
Well, and
right?
what you also don't want, the reason it has to be curated and the reason that the developers have to make some money off of it as opposed to just like a free marketplace is that what happens otherwise is people will take free mods or mods that are low cost, take them and then either change them or not change them at all, and submit them as their own. And that's what Steam had the problem with, is they were taking these mods and then people would just like, oh, hey, I made a mod. And I just, that was effectively me renaming it. So they have to be, and even that even happens on the actual App Store. How many Flappy Bird games are there? But I think a good moderated, like, hey, we take the cream and go with that. I think it could be really cool. I think there's a huge amount of possibility there. And just, it makes games that you paid a lot of money for have a way longer lifespan.
All right. Lastly, in our bit of news here, there is a new streaming service. It's all up in the cloud where everything else is with all the celebrity nudes and stuff like that. It's called NVIDIA GeForce Now.
Yeah,
How is it?
It's cool. And so
Yeah?
I signed up for the beta probably, 4 or 5 months ago, and just randomly in my inbox, they're like, hey, you got a Mac, try this out. And so currently it's only available for people that have Mac computers, which is a notoriously hard place to game. I will tell you, I've tried.
I would know.
Yeah, it's not very successful. And so Adam's right. This is an idea where you are effectively logging into a remote virtual computer. So that's a virtual computer that is probably effectively running a copy of Windows. It's got, GeForce 1060, 1070, 1080, big RAM, and all that stuff. And you literally are logging into it remotely, kind of like you would like a remote desktop session if you've ever done that before, or like a GoToMeeting, that kind of thing, where you're just actually your computer almost becomes that computer. It's got Steam installed. You log into your Steam account and it installs games. Right now there's like 30 games you can play, but they include things like Rocket League and The Witcher and Civilization 6 and Overwatch. It's a ton of games.
All like current.
Yeah, all current stuff, and it's a bunch of games on Steam, or you can play stuff on BattleNet or whatever they're calling it now too. I know that's not what they're calling it, but you get the idea. And you log in, and I mean, like, Rocket League's a pretty big install, and it took seconds because I'm sure they just have all this stuff cached locally. And I was in and playing at 720p, 30 frames a second within 2 minutes. Like, there's a little bit of load time, and then there's kind of the Steam load time, and then the game just starts. And I was incredibly skeptical. I'm like, there's no way this could work. I'm on a MacBook Air, so this is a 2013 MacBook Air. It has like a Core i7, like a 2 gigahertz processor. There's no video card to speak of. It's got 8 gigs of RAM. I've run Rocket League on this computer, and it literally means I turn every single thing all the way off. I might as well be playing with shoeboxes, and I'm still only pulling like maybe 15 or 20 frames a second.
Oh, man.
And so I loaded into this, and I'm playing wirelessly. I'm not plugged in. I'm just in my living room, and before I did a speed test, and I pull about 80 megs a second down. So I've got pretty fast internet at home. And I was up and playing 720p, 30 frames a second. It played like butter. There's no input lag.
Like butter.
There's no anything. And I played like garbage because I haven't played Rocket League in like 6 weeks, but it had nothing to do with the service. It had everything to do with me being awful. It's gorgeous. You guys saw it. It looks like Rocket League. And I mean,
because it is Rocket League technically.
Yeah, but I mean, Rocket League is a very fast-paced game too. It's quick. Your car moves really quickly. Things zoom by, and it looked perfect.
And no lag with the control at all.
No input lag. No anything.
Wow.
Yeah, I plugged a PS4 controller.
How does that work?
Magic, as far as I'm concerned.
The cloud is the future.
I was shocked. I mean, it's the same way PS Now works,
right? But it's like, and I wondered about that service too. It's like, how does what I'm doing here
get up there,
and then back to me so I can see what it's.
I guess the thing is when you're playing a multiplayer game with other people, the exact same thing happens. It has to. It's that exactly. When you're playing Overwatch with someone, though, I mean, the exact same thing's happening. You're sending up data, it's sending data back. So, I mean, it's just all about well optimized internet and fast bandwidth. But they say that if you have over 50 megs a second down, you can play games at 1080p 60 frames a second. And obviously, I didn't get that experience, but it looked great. And so, like, to me, this is the perfect service for if you have a Mac and you don't have a gaming PC. These Macs are not cheap computers,
Well, and this service isn't cheap either.
The service is not cheap either. But, if you're a college student that bought a Mac because that's what you wanted to do your college stuff, I mean, I'm a huge Mac fan. Like, Windows is fine. It's fine on my gaming PC. But, like, on a computer that I'm working on every day and coding on.
Productive.
Yeah.
I want a Mac.
And so, that's just, I like the OS better, whatever. So, you've spent probably between $1,700 and, $4,000 on this, this Mac or MacBook Pro. You aren't probably going to also buy, yourself a $2,000 gaming laptop.
Right.
And this would kind of fit that bill. And especially if you're not like a gamer that's gaming like 20 hours every night. So the cost for this, at least what they announced back in January, costs are right now nowhere on their website. So I kind of wonder if they're kind of feeling it out, was 20 hours is $25. And that's gaming on a 1060. If you want to game on a 1080 GPU, it's $25 for 10 hours. But, if you're only gaming 20 hours a week or 20 hours a month, that's a casual gamer that likes to hop on the weekends and play some games. that's 4 hours a week, 5 hours a week. That's not bad.
That's not bad,
and
actually.
that's $25. So you're paying. What does that equal out to a year? $100 every 4 months. So it's like $300 a year, which, to get a gaming PC, that's 5, 6, 7 years worth of that
true.
service. So, and you're going to buy a new gaming PC somewhere in like year 3 or 4 there. So,
right.
I mean, if you're the kind of gamer who games 100 hours a week, no, this service is probably not for you. But if you're a kind of casual gamer that just wants to go out and play some Overwatch with some friends on the weekend, or you want to play The Witcher 3, or you want to play, some of these games that just aren't going to run on your Mac, it might actually be a pretty good solution. But I think they're actually still taking signups for the open beta, so you can go sign up and try it out too. So it was
I might
cool.
actually check into that, just to see.
And eventually they're going to release it for the PC. The PC one's not out yet, but that's going to be the perfect if you have just one of those kind of like, potato PCs that, hey, you got a low range i7 and not much RAM, and you have one of those Intel integrated graphics cards and you can't game for crap on it. Like, this might be a solution for that kind of player.
See,
Go
for
ahead.
me, I kind of like this is really cool if I can buy an allotted amount of time, right? So if I'm able to buy 20 hours for 25
and that's exactly
bucks,
what you do.
Like, that's great to me being someone who has a Mac. I don't have a gaming PC. And I have a few friends that I really want to play Overwatch with, but they only have PC or they're PC Master Race guys, and they don't want...
I hate those guys.
and my one buddy doesn't have a console. I think he just bought a PS4. So
Wait, what's wrong with the PC Master Race guys?
They're horrible, awful people.
I'm the king.
But... So I could give this company $25 and I could play with my buddy every once in a while because it's not going to be an everyday thing.
Yeah.
So that, to me, that is not expensive at all.
What I really hope they do,
and
too,
I'll be able to play Overwatch with them.
What I really hope they do is that they also put in like a subscription where you can pay, X a month. Maybe you get a deal. Maybe it's $20 a month and you get I don't know, or maybe it's a little more. I don't know.
Maybe if they sign you into like a 6-month or a 1-year agreement, you get. Okay, well, we know you're going to be here for this long, so we'll get a few perks.
Yeah. I think it's a really, really interesting idea. And there's actually a competitor to it, and I've been trying to figure out all day what their name is. They just launched their beta in Europe. Central Europe is baiting their stuff right now. And it looks interesting. And they actually are a pay-by-the-month plan. I think it's like $20 a month or $25 a month for unlimited. So
it'll be interesting to see where gaming goes with all these services starting to pop up, because you've got PlayStation Now, you've got the Xbox Games Pass, then now you've got the NVIDIA GeForce Now, and then whatever this is. So, I mean, they're starting to pop up.
Well, and, if you look at this, like, this could very, 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 very easily be the future of consoles.
Right.
Where you won't buy an Xbox or an Xbox One X or a PlayStation Pro. You will just buy a dumb box that has whatever it takes to run this and a fast internet connection. And that system will just be there forever, and you will, relatively never have to upgrade it, but you're going to pay $25 a month plus games to access it. And that might not be terrible if they can get that to a point where it works. That's a very interesting path to the future.
Because it's your games that you own.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, you literally log into your Steam library.
Right.
So it's interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
Well, there's that.
It's good.
Do your thing.
Hey, yo, Vinny, what you got for us this week?
So stupid.
I love it.
I'm not stupid. I'm just loud.
Oh, God. All right. So, Vinny, what is the best co-op game that you've played? What made it so fun to you? And was having the additional person with you making it more enjoyable?
I might have copied that down wrong, but you get the general idea.
I definitely played a game where playing with someone made it a whole lot worse.
Oh, yeah.
I actually really enjoy that kind of genre of game that's kind of popular now, of multiplayer games that make you want to kill the person you're playing with, like kind of Overcooked, and even like Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time. And
oh, see, I will not go near that game because I would probably end up throwing something.
It's so good, though.
It's super fun, but you need a third person,
and you have to play. You need a third person,
because
and you need to play it pretty casually.
It starts getting kind of hard. Yeah. Like we were struggling with the two people, but
your third person doesn't need to be good.
No, you really just need another body.
Yeah, like a shield person. Yeah, it's good. That's a great game.
Dedicated positions.
Yeah, you should play it. You own it, right? It was free on PlayStation Plus recently.
Yeah,
it's good.
I own a lot of games now.
You and me too, right?
Yeah.
Anyway,
who? Okay,
I'll go first.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually was going to kind of split this. I think to answer the last part of the question, like unless you're like Dylan, where you're saying, yeah, there's multiplayer games that were certainly made worse by playing with another person. I think almost any game is made better by being able to play it co-op. I think that's why people are so upset that like Halo 5 didn't have couch co-op when Halo 5 had, Halo had co-op for
that's
so
a strange
long.
choice. I have very fond memories of the legendary Halo runs with a buddy.
And I think that's just the thing. Like, I think that's one thing that makes Borderlands so great. I think it's, is that couch co-op experience, being able to play a game, even like Destiny. Like, I really, really enjoy Destiny. I don't think I would enjoy Destiny nearly as much if I wasn't playing with my brother every game I played. Like, I don't play Destiny by myself ever. Like, I only play it with him. And I think that experience makes it a lot better. But I think there's those kind of games, like games that I've played with mostly my brother because he's the person I game with. Like Army of Two was such a terrible, silly, dumb game, but it was so much fun to play multiplayer. Like it was such a great co-op experience, and we had such a good time doing that. We used to play Guitar Hero all the time, and like that's a game again that I never played single player, but I loved playing it with someone else in the same room.
I definitely locked myself in my room and got good.
Yeah, well, and I actually, and that's actually the funny thing is my brother was way better at it than I was, and so I actually had to play single player because otherwise I couldn't keep up with him.
Yeah, I was just the rhythm guitar player on the Dragon Force song, so we could finally beat it on.
Yeah, I get to play bass a lot.
I did the singing thing.
No, that's all right.
On Rock Band.
That's important.
A yodeler?
No. I remember we did there's this great barcade down in Portland called Ground Zero, and they used to have Rock Band Tuesdays or Rock Band Wednesdays. And I was like, I can't play this game because I suck at instruments, but I can sing. So I did the vocal part for Radiohead's "Creep."
That's awesome.
Yeah, nailed it.
Very cool.
I got 100% or whatever.
But we played that. But I've had a ton of fun playing even single player games with another person. Like me and my wife played all the way through the first Kingdom Hearts game, where I played the entire game and she just like helped me. And she was as into it as I was, maybe more so. It's the only, we've been married for 20 years and it's the only game that she's ever gone like, dude, are we going to play some Kingdom Hearts tonight? It was like my greatest fantasy come true. And it lasted for 70 hours and then has never happened again. So it's all right. But yeah, I think that co-op is the way to play games if you can. It makes everything better. So that's me.
I liked the Portal games.
Oh,
Portal! I think it was
good.
Portal 2
Portal
was the
2 is the co-op.
Yeah,
the funny thing is, I tried to play that with my kid, and we couldn't figure out how the multiplayer worked. I think we did something wrong. So we walked into a room. I'm like, I don't know where to go next, and we just couldn't figure out what to do. We did something wrong.
That was fun. I liked Portal 2.
Oh, so good.
Right. That was I guess that was the best multiplayer kind of thing, even though it's not. It's 2-player.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's definitely. There is a co-op campaign to that game.
Right.
Though.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like you have to play with two people, and I think that's probably the best actually designed for co-op game. Because,
Portal 2?
Because you have to use two people.
Oh, because some of the puzzles require you.
It's not like adding a person. It is built for two people to get through.
Yeah.
There's its own single player, but there's also
interesting. I didn't realize that.
Oh yeah, it's really cool.
That.
You should do that again.
Portal 2
I've got
great.
it.
I've got it too.
Yeah. I like that. And then like as far as like the couch co-op-y kind of thing where it's like one person plays but not the other person just kind of talks you through it. The Witness is actually really, really, really good for two people to sit down and one person control it.
I literally didn't. I bought that game and did not play it for like 6 months because I wanted my wife to play that with me. I'm like, I think we'll have fun. She likes puzzles, and I'm not real great at them. So I think like this could be a game we could be really good at playing together. I could just never like talk her into actually doing it. Right. And so I played it single player, got like 3 or 4 hours into it. I'm like, I'm not good enough to get past these puzzles now. Well, I guess I'll never play this game again.
Yeah.
So
because Kevin of all people was the one who wanted to buy that game. So we got it. And I started playing it, and then we started playing it together. Yeah. And eventually it just devolved into be like, you're doing it wrong! Stop! And then I'd throw the controller and walk away or something.
So you didn't beat it either?
No, good God, no.
I wonder if anyone's actually beat The Witness.
People have.
But
I'm like, I think I've got maybe 50 out of 500 puzzles done.
That's kind of where I am, too.
That's about it.
I need to try that game.
It's so fun. It's cool. And it's beautiful.
See, that's
absolutely
the thing.
Beautiful.
I don't call that game fun. Because it's not a fun game.
See, but I kind of like the like can't solve this puzzle, can't solve this puzzle, can't solve this. Oh, hey.
Oh, here's a whole area where I can solve these.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels good when you figure it out, but I would not call that game fun.
Yeah, I don't know.
To me, that's fun.
Like, are you a guy that would sit down and try and figure out one of those logic puzzles just for funsies?
And I think the thing is like that's kind of like that's what my job is. I mean, like if you're a programmer, that's what your job is. You have a puzzle and you figure out a way to programmatically solve that puzzle. So like that's what I enjoy doing. So
oh god,
I know it makes my job sound awful, right?
And as much as those games that where you have to pick a phrase or something to follow up, like as much as those kind of annoy me, I'm like I'm that guy who picks them apart and tries to think, 5 sentences down the line.
Yeah.
If I say this, what's he going to say next? And I try and do that. So I don't do math. I do words.
You do words. That's all right. Use your words.
There's words in math sometimes.
Oh, those are the worst ones. What about you, Dylan?
Yeah.
What haven't we talked about? I won't spend a lot of time talking about it, but I know how much Cliff misses Uprising. But I think that was a really good co-op inclusion to Overwatch.
Oh! I loved it so much that I can't remember what you're talking about. That was amazing. I love that.
That just having so much potential, if that becomes a thing in that
I tell you,
game,
man, if they made that game and sold it today for $60, I would be the first person in line to buy it.
Yeah, that would be great.
The Lego
However,
games.
I kind of want to, instead of telling how much I love co-op games, I'm just going to say how much I hate the level progressions in co-op games when you go try to play with someone who's a higher level than you.
Oh, yeah.
How we were talking about Destiny the other week.
Yep.
And it's like, I would be so, because I just found a copy of Destiny under a stack of games, and I was like, oh, I still have this.
Yeah.
And I was like, I would play this maybe. I would maybe try it again. But if I play with you guys, that's not going to be fun for me.
Maybe the right way
at all.
for us to play Destiny is all three of us and my brother, because I play with him, just need to start new characters, and we'll just start at level 0 and we'll just go again.
Yeah, because I remember, I've experienced
I'm
similar
on the
things
PlayStation, so no.
in like Borderlands, which is a great co-op game. But if you already have this character and you want to play with somebody who doesn't, it's really not fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
But those games are so fun as co-op, and it's weird that these games are designed very much around co-op, but don't really lift up a new player.
You'd think that the way it would work would be that they'd either I don't know, average out your people, or say hey, you're not nearly this good. Can we clone that person you're playing and you can play as them? This isn't going to be persistent.
So, but in Destiny they don't bump up the enemy's level to match yours. I think everything is kept in a certain area at a certain level.
It looks that way when you play it. You'll go onto the moon or whatever, and everything will look like a level 7 or at a level 11.
Right.
But I think that they actually are harder than that. The number stays the same, but I should plow through level 7s at my level and light level, and they still take a lot of damage. So I think that, they say they're level 7, but I think that they actually are behind the scenes actually raising up to a level that you're at. But Destiny does a pretty good job, though, of balancing that out, I think. Yeah. So, I mean, it's hard to say because you go from having actual levels to having light levels, but my kid's 2 full levels below me plus 150 light levels, and he can still hang out with us and play. So.
Right. Well, there's that.
Good stuff.
Good. All right. Now we move on to Kevin has a question this week. Has there ever been a game that you were playing that was just so good that you didn't want to finish it? He's been experiencing that currently with Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
And I kind of have to agree with him in particular on that. Just because there's so much to do, and it's I know what happens once you've beat the game. And I guess it's not really a spoiler. It's once you beat it, the world doesn't just continue to exist without Ganon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's basically there's a save that's right before you go in to see him, and that's the end game point.
Oh, so you can't keep playing after? You can't go back and collect your little leaf men and stuff?
Well, I mean, that save is always there.
But you can't beat him and then continue playing after. Interesting.
Yeah. Huh. So there's that.
So I wonder how the expansions are going to work.
I don't know.
That's really interesting. I didn't realize that. Huh.
Yeah.
For open world games, that should never happen.
No, I kind of agree. That's odd.
And
it should never happen.
This is just me going off of what my brother told me because he's got it on the Wii U.
He might be a liar.
He's not really a liar. He's a dick, but he's not a liar.
You don't have a reason to lie about that.
Seems like a nice guy. He's got a great name. That's the most important.
His name's Cliff.
Yeah.
No.
Cliff Feast.
So yeah, at least so I'm kind of in agreement with him on that. I'd have to think more about any other games, but
I 100% felt that way about Firewatch. Like I never wanted that game to end, and it was really short. It like the part. I think the thing is I don't want to say I knew how it ended. Like I didn't have a definitive like I know this is what happens, but I knew it wasn't going to end happy. Like there was no way that this was going to turn into like a magical fairy tale, and you want it to. Like you want that game to end, where everything's perfect and everyone ends up happy and together and everything.
There's some people currently playing it who have never played it before.
Yeah, and that's okay. So I'm not going to go. I won't say anything more than that, but I think that's kind of you get that feel from the game even. Like when you're playing.
I wouldn't even say that it's an unhappy ending.
It's
not unhappy. It's not
just
sad.
Yeah, it's just kind of like I don't know what the right word for it is.
I don't think it's the ending that just about every average person would hope for.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't have that kind of like chick flick ending.
I was going to say it's not like a Love Actually or a Serendipity ending.
Yeah,
it's a very real ending.
I love the payoff.
Yeah, and I agree. And I 100% loved the ending that we got. But man, like walking up to the kind of last part, I'm like, oh, this is the end.
This is it. Yeah,
it's going to end now, and I don't want it to, like, because I knew what I was going to get. Mm-hmm. So I love that game, though. I absolutely adore that game.
On that note, I want to add to Firewatch that I wish I had more to explore in that game because it does. I mean, we talked about this before, but it does a really good job of hiding the linear path in this open world, and it's not really that open. But there are other things to find. Like there are things in the environment, but it also doesn't really push you out to find it.
I never found the raccoon or the turtle.
I kind of just stuck to my path, and I would have loved to have found a couple of those.
I wish that
things.
game there's no way you could have a DLC. I don't think for that game, but I wish there was.
Unless it's just another episode of some other. Guy doing something else in a similar universe.
So those other two guys that like you were constantly finding the notes from in the boxes, like you could maybe do their story.
That would be fun.
Or an earlier story with Delilah or something. I don't know. Like I'm sure that Capo Santos is on to something way more interesting than more stupid DLC for a game that I just want to play more of. But
I would love to see those two guys. Like that would be a fun story, and then what shenanigans they got into.
Yeah.
Wait, which two guys was it again?
There's like two guys that you see, and all they do is write notes to each other, and they're both kind of weird and like paranoid. And
yeah.
And like through the entire game, like again, I don't want to spoil anything. You think that something's happening there, and But yeah,
or you could play like play the two girls.
Yeah. Oh, right. I think there's a lot of opportunity. I loved that world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd love to go back. Grand Theft Auto.
I think Kevin's actually playing Firewatch right now. So
God.
Maybe I should tell him not to. You should skip this part.
I don't think we gave it anything.
Yeah, we didn't give anything away.
Grand Theft Auto is a game I always take my time getting through. Like I still haven't finished Grand Theft Auto 5.
I haven't either.
Whenever I play it, I kind of just.
I guess I beat GTA 3, but I think that was the last Grand Theft Auto I played.
I think it's the only one I haven't beat other than the current one.
Yeah.
Because it was hard. GTA 3 is real hard.
Real hard.
That one I just couldn't
I don't know if I
finish.
beat it without cheating. I'm not sure.
And was that a hard game because of the generation that it came from?
Those
or
controls
was it just
are
hard?
not very good at achieving what they want you to do, especially because the missions weren't always super story driven. It was more like kill a bunch of gangsters and just drive by, and it's like that's kind of hard when you're like doing
the like driving and shooting out the window was always like I'm like I don't have enough hands for this.
Yeah. I need another.
Which I guess maybe explains why like people in drive-bys often just end up spraying bullets into the side of a building and not actually hitting the mass of people they're actually aiming at. You know what I mean? Like it's not easy.
That's a sore subject right now.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, Skyrim, Oblivion, those kinds of games too. There's just, I guess it's that go off on a tangent and do other things and not really. Like, I don't even want to get to the story mode because I want to go do all this other stuff. Yeah. And then you find out that the game's over. Like, by the time you kind of slowly pick at the story mode, and you're like, oh, the finish line was right there.
I think any game that you put 100 hours into or 150 hours into, like, that becomes a pretty important part of your life. I do this all the time. Like, I don't do it a lot with games just because a lot of games I don't ever finish. So, but I do this with TV shows all the time where I'll watch up until, like, the last, like, 3 or 4 episodes. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll get back to that, and then just never do. Like the amount of TV shows that I've never seen the end of is big.
The only show I've ever done that with was Twin Peaks. The original
Interesting.
Twin Peaks. I got to the last 2 episodes or 3 episodes because the 3 or 4 episodes before the end, you find out who the killer is and what's been going on.
Sure. I've never seen any of
And
them.
then the last 3-4 episodes, I'm like, well, I already why?
Yeah.
But now with the revival, I kind of need to.
Push
it. But
yeah.
anyway.
Up next, Ricky.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Ricky. As someone who owns a PS4 and a Switch and isn't going to have a 4K TV anytime soon, how would you convince someone to get an Xbox One if exclusives don't matter? Being able to play Uncharted got me to pick my PS3 instead of a 360. We all know Cliff is a big Xbox fan, but he'd like to know what the draw is.
Ooh, pick me.
Yeah.
The controller.
Yeah.
Oh, for God's
200%.
sake.
Seriously, that has always been Xbox has always been my first choice for each generation because of the controller.
I literally the other day almost spent $60 to get a thing my controller would actually wired plug into so I could use my Xbox controller on my PS4.
Yeah.
But to actually answer the question, don't. Geez, don't.
Geez, don't what?
Don't buy one.
Oh.
if you're I am over the last 3 or 4 weeks I've gotten so bored with the PS4 versus Xbox whatever versus PC whatever argument. I don't care if you like games, that's what's important.
There's more games than you're ever going to be able to play.
Ever. And if you like exclusive games, if a game speaks to you, buy it. Get a system that it's on and buy it. And if there's not games that speak to you on a system, or you can go I've got a PS4 and I can not play Forza, fine, that's great. Don't do it. If you love Forza, if it's worth $300 or $400 for you, do it. But I think especially if you don't have a 4K TV, getting a PS4 Pro or an Xbox One X is probably silly. Yes, you're going to see advantages, but the advantages are going to be pretty slight. And I mean, I don't know. The more I've been thinking about it lately, I love the idea of 4K gaming. I love the idea of HDR gaming. I love the idea of high frame rate gaming. But I don't know why. I'm totally the guy who's pretty happy to play a game at 720p 30.
It still looks good.
It still looks fine. And on my TV that's 10, 12 feet across my living room from me, I'm old. I got I've worn glasses since I was 8. My vision is not.
You wear contacts?
Yeah, I wear contacts.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm without my contacts, man, I wouldn't be able to see the end of this microphone. I'm blind. So I don't even know why I think HD matters that much. I think HD is hugely different. The difference between SD and HD. So 480,
That's dramatic.
480 to 720 is a huge deal, and 480 to 1080 is a huge deal. 1080 to 4K,
Well,
meh.
I remember when the Wii came out and it wasn't HD.
Yep.
And everybody was like, why is this not HD? Because the PS3
Yeah.
and the Xbox 360, they were the first ones to go full HD.
Yeah.
And then the Wii came out, it was I don't understand, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it still sold like crazy.
Oh yeah,
And the game still looked good.
100 million
they
copies.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then the first time I saw a Wii U boot up and I saw Mario in HD, I about crapped.
Yeah, looks
because
great.
it
It was
blew
cool.
my mind.
Yeah.
It was so cool. It was Super
so
Mario
cool.
3D World.
I think
Yeah,
720.
3D Land, depending if you adopted early or not.
Yeah,
720 is not terrible. 1080 is great.
but the
And-
Wii U was only 720.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing is there are a lot of people that really believe that they can intrinsically tell the difference between 30 frames a second and 60 frames a second and 85 frames a second, 144 frames a second without a FPS counter bopping in the middle of their thing.
I can see the difference between 30 and 60 pretty easily. I think.
See, and I can't.
Really?
I've watched videos and they're oh, left's 30, the right 60. I'm like, what's the difference? They're like, oh, watch the trees in the background. I'm like, why? I'm not going to be watching the trees in the background when I play this damn game. Why would I care now? And yes, I get that there's a smootherness to it, but I don't think it affects gameplay that much.
But yeah, I wouldn't say it affects gameplay. I'd say that I can definitely see a difference.
And
that's for sure.
I don't really notice a difference. And what gets me though is the people that are like, well, I can't play Overwatch unless I'm playing Overwatch at 85 frames a second because I'm so much better. My reaction times are so much better. Watch this slow motion GIF. You can totally see the difference. I'm like, no, you can't. You 100% can't. And they will swear up and down that there's a huge difference. And maybe they're just significantly better than I am. Maybe when you get to that point where you can that matters,
right?
Whatever, but I'm not there yet. So I mean, if you like your PS4 and your Switch, that's awesome, great, love those things, and be a gamer and love your games, and I like Xbox a lot, but I own a PS4 and I own a Switch, and I own a PS4 Pro. I didn't even cheap on it.
Yeah. I think this question's more for people who are like, they just want, everybody's a 2-console household, like, as far as I'm concerned, or most people are now, because
everyone has a Nintendo,
and
then you have one of the other two.
Yeah. So it's like, pick the one that you want to play.
Yeah. If you're super into
simple.
like the thing that I've really noticed with JRP or with the PS4 is like you get a lot more of that like Japanese influence. There's a lot of kind of JRPG or at least Japanese-esque games that you just don't get on the Xbox. And if that's your jam, great, go with that. With the Xbox, you get a lot of Gears of War-y stuff and a lot of Halo-y stuff and a lot of Forza-y stuff. If that's your thing, great. And if you like both those things, then like it's going to cost you $800-900. Sorry, you know what I mean. The thing is, like, in addition to that, I'm a PC gamer too. Like, I have a really nice, gaming PC. Like, I spend an exorbitant amount of money on this hobby, and some people do, some people don't. But just like love games, don't. That's the end of it for me. Like, love games and love the games you play.
I started playing Pokemon Go again.
Right? There's a huge update in the summer.
I know.
Yeah. To me, like love your games and spend more time loving your games and less time hating on other people's games, and everyone's going to be a lot happier.
So, in conclusion, get an Xbox One because the controller's better.
Way better. Hugely better.
But seriously, whenever a game came out for both systems, I always bought the Xbox One if I could, because I would rather play on an Xbox with that controller.
Buying Destiny 2 on the PlayStation makes me hurt.
Yeah.
Makes me hurt.
I've only ever bought PlayStation exclusive games on my PlayStations until now because of just the incredible deals you'll get. I'm like, whatever, but I still don't like doing it.
Yeah, I'm the exact same way.
Because I don't like the controller at all.
Yep. And there's no third-party controller that's in the same vein as the Xbox controller that you can get for the PS4.
Trust me, we spent a lot, like, me and 3 other people in our Discord chat spent like 3 hours the other day trying to find one.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, it's all right.
And it's not the same. Like, Xbox makes it good controllers.
Yeah, it's the it's the layout of it is one thing, but just like the feel and the heft and the weight and the
How do you
shape
feel about the Switch Pro controller compared to an Xbox controller?
It's really close.
Yeah.
It's really, really, really close.
I still have to get one.
Yeah, I don't own one either, but I've held yours, and it's really nice. I like that a lot.
And I'm not going to tell a lie. I love my Xbox controller because I got the Xbox One controller for my PC.
The One S controller.
Oh yeah, the One S. Yeah,
fantastic too.
I didn't, because there's that Pro controller that's like $130.
I want one of those so bad.
I will not spend that kind of money on a controller.
Yeah.
I shan't do such a thing.
I shan't
do such a thing.
I want one. That's the difference. Always, I want one really bad, but I haven't done it.
Think about how much time you spend playing.
Right,
with it,
that's really true.
You can justify that cost so quick.
I don't.
Yeah. I do.
Most of my games on
for
PC.
You, but
most of my games on my PC though, I use mouse and keyboard.
What if it was a PlayStation Elite controller? Would you buy it?
No.
They have them, yeah.
I would not.
You spend more time with your controller than you do your games.
It's true. It's 2 games right there.
It's getting way too deep for me.
I know, right? They're real nice.
That it? Are we done?
Yeah, we're done.
Can we move on?
Yeah, controllers.
Crap. And I've got something to add to this next one. So we're going to talk about the cheap free games.
Yay.
Before we get into what we've got here, did anybody happen to notice the announcement about the Sega games that are coming to iPhone and Android? Yeah, so I want to say it's like 5 games to start off with. Sega's re-releasing.
One of them being Altered Beast.
Oh, so excited.
Yeah.
They're re-releasing a lot of their older games from the Master System, the Saturn,
Subsystem I've never heard of.
Genesis. What was? There was the Game Gear.
I don't know. There was something with a bunch of numbers that I'd never heard of. It was like a Japanese-only console.
Oh, weird. But they're re-releasing these games for free for iPhone and Android. I think by the time you hear this, I think it's the day this is up.
Yeah.
So on 5 games to start, they're all free, and then they're going to add a game or so every month for free
for the next like 3 years too.
Yeah.
Like, and some of these are going to be like Sega Saturn games. I think it's actually more than a game a month. I think it's like 2 or 3 games a month.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. Like, I'm kind of bummed that I don't own an Android. I mean, it's the only reason I'm bummed.
Well, it's coming to iPhone too.
Yeah, but I want to be able to play it with a controller.
Oh yeah,
and there's no way to sync a controller to the iPhone.
Playing games on a phone.
I hate playing touchscreen.
But like Adam will just be able to hook up. You can hook a PS4 controller up to your Android and play it. So,
yeah, I'm excited about that.
So I think it's great.
If you're a Sega fanboy,
they are saying that they're going to come out too for most likely for what's that stupid iOS TV thing?
Apple TV.
Apple TV. Jeez, yeah, that was hard. They're thinking about releasing an Apple TV version of it too, which does have a controller. So that'd be awesome.
Be amazing.
Yeah.
Right, and I say free. They are free, but they are ad supported, and you can pay $1.99 to get rid of the ads.
Apparently, the ads are not intrusive though. They're before you start the game, and then on the save screen, and then after you die. I want to say.
I'm like, I can handle that.
If they give me mindful ads, I'm happy to look at them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind my Kindle ads.
No, I don't
I've been
either.
realizing that a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of nice.
Yeah, save $10. It's done. Well, I've actually found a lot of books that I want to read by the ads on my Kindle. So.
Yeah, I mean, most of them are kind of romance novels, but
I read
I'm not really into that.
I read a lot of romance, so it's good.
So moving on to more cheap free game stuff, you now get access to even more free games if you subscribe to the Humble Bundle Monthly.
Yeah.
It's called Trove.
Yeah, so this is cool. If you subscribe to Humble Bundle Monthly, like Adam and I both do, it's $12 a month, and you get a bunch of free games once a month. But they also open, like Humble has actually become a publisher now. They're actually publishing games, and I don't know. There was I was going to say 20 or 30 games in this Trove list that you just get, and maybe not 20. Let's see.
It's still a handful.
Yeah, it's 4, 6, 8, 12. Yeah, about 20. Games that you just get for free that you can try and play, and I believe that they're just free forever. Like once you get them, I believe you get to keep them. So even if you subbed,
DRM free.
Yeah, so even if you subbed and then quit, you would not lose these games, and some of them are cool. Definitely stuff that I've heard of. So just another bonus of subscribing to Humble Bundle, which I'm just a huge fan of.
I'm looking at one of these games.
Oh, man.
It's called Elephant in the Room.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
It looks amazingly terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's free.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's amazing.
Yeah, but no, there's some good stuff in there. I mean, I've heard of Trini, I've heard of Strike Suit Zero, I've heard of Volgar. Kimmy is actually by one of the level designers. You actually met her at
Enna?
No, the one that's doing Tacoma. You interviewed her down in Portland.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
But anyway, I've messed her name once up on this podcast, so whatever. But
nice.
that's just a cool thing you get from Humble.
Yes, good job. Good on ya. Heads up, there's a Steam sale coming.
Like we need an alarm for this or something. Like something not done by Dylan. And there needs to be lights.
You're like our own little Foley artist.
Right? It's great.
There's lights happening now. I'm making lights. Close
He's
your
blinking
eyes.
really fast.
Close your eyes and envision the lights.
Do we know anything about when it's going to be coming?
Starts tomorrow.
Oh, crap.
So that is actually, if you're listening to the podcast, it's on right now.
So what I need to do is go home and wish list a bunch of crap.
Yep.
Ready your wallets.
Yep. Drop a bunch of stuff on your wish list because then you'll know what is and isn't on sale.
Does this mean I'm getting drunk tonight?
Stop eating.
Okay.
No, tomorrow.
No, tomorrow.
Tomorrow. You
I
can
don't want to
wait until
shop
Friday.
hungover.
What the heck?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm super excited. I'm going to try not to spend too much money, but every time one of these happens, I end up spending like $80 to $100.
Oh,
so
man, don't do this to me.
It could be worse.
It could be way worse.
It could be way worse.
Way
Let's look
worse.
at the positives.
Yeah, exactly. I have $1.50 in Steam credit right now, so
That will go a long way.
Right? That's like 4 indies.
right.
If you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, that means you have the Twitch Prime.
Or you should.
Or you should. You can get a free golden loot box from Twitch Prime for,
I did it.
what is
Did
that,
you?
Overwatch?
I got the code.
For Overwatch.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's
And-
the gold loot box. What were you going to say?
They're going to be giving more out in the next couple months.
Oh,
too.
nice.
So you're going to get like 5 next month and then 5 the month after.
Oh, wow.
I think.
That's
I
awesome.
think that's what I understood.
Very cool.
So do it.
Well, and I mean, other stuff like Adam got the free Twitch gear for PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. So, like, if you have an Amazon Prime account, there's absolutely no reason not to have a Twitch Prime account.
Yeah, you just log in and connect it.
And you also
Takes
get to
a
subscribe
second.
to a Twitch channel for free every month, which is cool because that money goes to creators. So that's a good
Do you have
thing.
to pay to subscribe to channels?
No, well, not to follow, but to subscribe. Like, subscribe's
gotcha.
actually like I'm giving you some amount of money. I don't know what that is, but if you use your free one, they still get the money. So it's cool.
Speaking of PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds last night, I don't know if you saw in the Discord, I was very, very excited. I got my first kill.
That's gonna like
How many
create some.
games did you play?
That was my 5th game.
So this is going to create some real like dissonance in this episode too, because we recorded part of this yesterday where Adam said he hadn't actually killed anyone.
Yeah.
So,
that's fine. That's fine.
It keeps it real interesting here.
Time Warp.
You just never know what's going to happen on Bite Me.
I was very excited because like
You got 12th, right?
Yeah,
22.
22nd.
Yeah.
I was number 22 in that, or 23. I was, yeah.
That's awesome.
But I landed and I got some guns and stuff, and then I heard some dude walking around. I heard a car pull up, and I was hiding down below this little thing, and I saw this little head go walking by into a house, and I'm like, I'm gonna kill this dude. and I watched him go into the house, and I hid outside a window, and I waited to see his face walk by in the window, and I just pew,
Nice.
blood, pow, done.
Nice.
You got to kill.
That's awesome.
And then I stole all his crap, and he had a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Next weekend we should play.
very excited.
Anyway, back to the gold loot box real fast in Overwatch. If you get these, you'll actually get 4 items in every one, including 1 guaranteed legendary. So definitely worth hooking your stuff
Fancy.
up. Yeah.
That's nice. You might actually get something.
Yeah, it's good.
Don't have small bites written down, but like I said, I'm playing Pokemon Go again.
Yeah, why
and
not?
there's some huge
There's
update
a huge
happening.
update coming up. And if you're a hacker and you've been hacking around on your Pokemon Go or you use apps that help you cheat, stop doing that because they're going to stop you.
So I couldn't play it for the longest time because I had a rooted phone.
Yep.
And because that's the easiest way to like GPS spoof and blah, blah, blah,
Yep.
blah,
All
you
that
were
stuff,
blocked out.
any Pokemon you find using like hacked stuff or programs that help you will actually have a slash through them now, and they will have strange behaviors is the way they've said it. So
Well, there
Hope
you
they
go.
poop
You've
on
been
you or
warned.
something.
apparently they just won't listen to you. Like you'll tell them to fight and they're like, no.
I wish I knew how this game worked. I still don't.
Yeah,
get
it's
it.
confusing. Anyway,
All
I'm going
right.
to skip Troll Corner this week because I've already said, like, just love games and stop being dumb.
Well, I mean, you don't want to talk about. Okay.
No, I've spent the last, like, 2 episodes crapping on Sony, and they're doing a fine job of doing it in public themselves. So,
All right, then. Well, with that, we come to the end of yet another fancy episode of the Bite Me podcast.
31.
31.
That's crazy.
That's, yeah.
That's a long time.
It's not even been a year.
I know, right?
But we're coming up on a year.
Yeah.
In what, November?
November 17th.
So we're halfway there.
Yeah.
Close. All right, cool. Well, so there's that. You can find us online, Bite Me Podcast. That's BYTEMePodcast.com. And all the social medias, Bite Me Podcast. And
Come join our Discord server.
yeah, Discord.
We are having so much fun. Like, I mean, there are times when there are like 10 or 12 people in there just chatting away about video games. It's great.
Oh, I have to turn my phone. I have to mute those notifications, which we need to get in touch with Discord and be like, can we mute notifications for X amount of time? Because I forget to
like
turn
a
it back
4-hour
on.
mute or something. Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be cool.
That
And,
would be kind of nice.
Yeah.
It would be.
Yeah.
Like, I never thought I would use that feature on Facebook. I'm like, what is this crap? Oh, I'm going to shut all these people up until I'm off work.
I
and
didn't
it's
know
great.
you could do that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
Anyway, there's lots of fun people in there. There's lots of fun people on all of our social media. We have
Yeah.
a good time.
Like, share, comment, suggest, ask us questions.
It's good.